Good evening. This is Discussion with the Otherhood, and I am here with the remainder of the Blerdsassins Next Door. This is Penelope Flynn.
You
I'm
forgot
here
your
with
name.
Nikki, Otto, Sonia, James, and Roxanne. We're still expecting Cranston to show up. We'll see if and when he does. All right, now, as usual, we start with the weather. And Nikki, you are top center. How is the weather in sunny South Florida?
It is nice. It's like 85 degrees here. No rain in sight, nothing but sun.
Cool. That's wonderful. And has it been that way all week, or is it just today's weather?
Huh?
Has that been that way all week, or is that just today's weather?
All week.
Oh
All
wow!
week.
Congratulations
Hmm.
for having wonderful weather. All right,
Thank you.
Sonia, how's your weather up in
What's that
Rochester?
noise?
In Rochester, it is now 41 degrees. It'll be about that same temperature tomorrow around 5. We had actually had sleet today, but it didn't wasn't really big stones, just enough for me to go, "Hey, that was sleet, not snow."
Hail and sleet, or just
Just sleet.
wow? Okay. All right, Roxanne, how is your neck of the woods?
Right now it's 50. No, I'm sorry, it's 59 and clear. It's been like today was 70, it was very pleasant, but tomorrow it's the high is going to be 56. So I don't think Maryland has decided what it is yet, what it's going to do yet. Kind of like go home, Maryland, you're drunk. Um, so we'll see, but it's supposed to be clear at
Okay,
least.
cool. All right.
Just 56 degrees. Now I don't mind 56. That's fine. But it's just like be one or the other so I don't have to keep changing my sweatpants into shorts into sweatpants.
That's right. Get it together, Mother Nature.
Right.
Right. All right. And so, Otto, you can speak about your weather.
Perfect to me. It's 50 degrees here too, and it's raining all day, and a few events was canceled because of the rain. It's
I'm
perfectly.
say, yeah, you
Hmm?
say raining. It was not raining. It was a deluge.
I love it, and it was all dreary and stuff on a
Yeah,
Saturday,
yeah.
and I could
Thunder,
like
lightning. I
hold up.
mean,
No, no, yeah, yeah. I could just like lay in the bed and watch TV. Usually days like this happen during the week, and I gotta go to work, and I effing hate it. So now it happened on the weekend, and I do what I need to do on dreary days.
that's true.
I
Right.
love it. Love it.
All right. James, how's it in New York?
Uh, right now it's 57 degrees. It was raining earlier in the
Mhm.
morning, but other than that, we've had a clear day.
Oh, that's nice. Because it's
Can you
been
see
raining here
forever?
all day long. All
Can you
day,
see?
all day, all day.
Can you see
Hmm?
forever? Clear day. Can you see?
Yes. A clear day you can see forever. All right. And Cranston's just showing up with us. So, how is your weather up
We,
there at the space station?
we have been on the ground. It has been it's pretty much been spring. We've hit I think to get up to 91 today. It's going to get down to the upper 60s tonight, but it's been pretty pleasant.
Right. Well, congratulations for having such great weather up there on the space station where you are now. Wonderful. All right, you all. Well, the topic for this evening is about movies and those that it starts out and they're just fantastic, wonderful openers, and then it either rises to the occasion of its wonderful opening, or something happens and it just kind of dies out or takes a left or right turn, and it's not quite what it was that you thought it would be. And I don't know who wants to get started, but I can't just well know if you saw the posting for the show at the beginning of what is that X-Men what is it? It's not is it First Class? X-Men First Class? The one with Sabretooth and Wolverine, and they're just running, 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 and they like run from one war to the next war to the next war. That is like one of the best openings of a film ever. I remember I saw it actually in a store and I was standing there in electronics department, and they had it playing up on the big screen, and I was riveted. I mean, it was just fantastic. And if it is First Class, then of course that was a fantastic movie. Um, but yeah, so that opening ended up leading into what I thought was a really good film. I think that's the one, whichever one it was. And I like most of the X-Men films, but whatever it was great opening. I mean, just wow. And like sometimes even if the part after it is a little weak, the lead in leaves you so blown away that you give it, an extra few minutes in order to find its footing because the opening is so good. So I
I
don't know,
think
does anybody else?
I think the opening of First Class was in the concentration camp. That was the one with Kevin
If
Bacon.
that was the one, the concentration camp with Eric,
Right.
that also great opening that leaves you there. I can't remember what is it, it's not Civil Wars, was it?
And I
The
think it was
one
just, I think that was not Wolverine, but
the one with Wolverine and Sabretooth that opened. I can't remember the name of it. But that film, what a
yeah,
great opening. But also the one concentration camp, also great opening. And
that was
X-Men First Class, great film.
and the second X-Men movie where the opening with the attack on the president, that was a good one, a good opening too.
Yeah, and so this thing good openings lead into good films. And I was trying to think of some positives and some that were negative. But before we get off into all of that, I just want to ask, does anybody else think of one or some that
Well,
are
I know of one that was positive and ended up being crap.
ah,
Um, the Fantastic Four,
Which one?
really?
the first one with I don't know the name of these new people, but um, it started off when Reed was a kid
Mhm.
and he was doing all of these experiments and he blew the neighborhood out, all the electricity. And my favorite line was because he and the rock guy were childhood friends.
Ben Grimm.
And he was doing an experiment. And my favorite line, it was, Reed, yes, you're insane. Thank you. And so, and then it went up to his high school, and he had this, I don't know whatever he was trying to do, but anyway, he had this experiment and it was successful. And then the space guys came after him. After
Mhm.
that, the movie went totally downhill. And I think it's because it was actually more like like somebody tried to piece together or sew together two or three movies in one. And it was just so disjointed and it just got silly. And I suspect it was because of the studio. I suspect, the opening was what was supposed to be. And then the studio stepped in and said, no, you got to do this, this, and this, and this. Well, if you want to keep your funding, you do what the studio says.
Right.
And that was really too bad because I think the Fantastic Four had had real potential and it was just ruined.
In
Just
fact, I think one of the things they said is that there's never been a good Fantastic Four film. And I think
really.
they're trying to do it again, I think, in another iteration, because they have never been able to get the Fantastic Four together the way that they thought that. I mean, it's got good visuals,
Yep.
good visual characters, but somehow they've never been able to translate it onto the big screen.
Well, I'll tell you what, just from the one I saw, if the studio would keep out of it, they might make a decent movie.
Yeah,
It was very disappointing, in the end. So
Yeah,
anybody
that's my
that
two cents.
yeah, that one did kind of suck. I think what they should make a moratorium is considering that most of these characters have been around since the 1960s or sooner. Cut out the origin stories. If you don't know who the Fantastic Four is, just go with it.
if
Well,
they
that's
showed
true.
you,
That's true. But the thing is that the origin story for the movie I saw was very good up until high school, and then all of a sudden it morphed into a different movie.
Yeah, was there are a lot of movies that are like that. I remember a movie back in the day called Dreamscape, and it had just one scene where I think it was Christopher Plummer and Max von Sydow. And it was like somebody took a whole different film and put it in the middle of a bad film, except for the scene with these two titans in it. And sometimes that's just the way it is. You have people who are so good at what they do and they elevate everything that they're in, and which is what happened. These guys elevate the material, but everything around them was trash. And so that's a problem. It was very uneven.
Could you imagine doing another Spider-Man movie where you do an origin story? Peter Parker gets bitten by a radioactive spider. It's like I'm like with Cranston. Do you really need to do that now
If you
again?
don't know who that is, if you don't know who that is by now, what can you do? What can you do
Well,
if you don't know who that is?
well, yeah, maybe I guess you guys are right because everybody knows who Spider Man is, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But what I would like to see is an origin story that cuts off, and then of course you would have room for sequels, blah 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 blah. But an origin story that watches them grow up, as these, with superpowers or whatever, and how they deal with it, how the kids deal with it. That's what I'd like to see. Something like that. If you're going to do an origin story.
Yeah. All
They
right.
did it on TV called Heroes.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Oh no, yeah, Heroes was about everyday people who discover they've all in a sudden have powers and how they deal with it. TV gives you that luxury of being able to delay your opening somewhat, so there's stretches and stretches, so that you don't have to tell everything in the first 15 minutes.
Well, gee, I guess I might just go buy a television.
Or it delays. It's also delays being good. So
Yeah, true.
that show never got good. So if you if you watch every episode, it's like eating a crap sandwich. I eat along the edges, and eventually it's got to be good somewhere, right?
Well, that's because there was also what was it, Sense8, that had the same premise, but they couldn't quite use the same premise because they didn't want to get sued by Sense8 folk, by J. Michael Straczynski, because they knew he would sue. Um, so that's also where the studios kind of went. We got to get the same idea in action so we can get our story out before they do.
But listen,
Well, it's funny. So I liked Sense8, but I
Yeah.
I didn't
didn't
like
like Heroes.
Sensei. I didn't like Hero. You know what? I don't care about your corporate litigation. Give me a
Hmm.
good show that I can watch on rainy days. I don't care
Hmm.
about your back and forth suing. But talking about opening movies, when movies are really good, is Blade. Blade had a fantastic opening.
It
The
did
first
have a
one,
really good opening. Mhm. The first one, yes, a
and you
great
don't have to.
opening. What is it? The going to the club, and what is her name? The actress who used to be the porn actress. What is her name?
Tracy
She
Lords.
Tracy Lords.
Yeah, she brought the guy to the club. Heat-seeking Dennis is what they have his name in the credit says. But brings it to the club, and he's like looking around. He's there ready to party, but even he goes in, he says something's a little off. He's there, and he's there to get down to party. And I tell you, I love that opening because I love the film. It's like one of my favorite, films, of all time. From comic book to films of all time. But when you watch it the first time, and okay, it's great, great. But then you watch it the second time, and the second time you realize that when he's in there and he bumps into the guy in the club, that's Deacon Frost. You know, so Deacon Frost is there, and then the Arlie Jover character, his I guess his bodyguard, the woman's bodyguard, that she is there in the club and she's dancing, with the Tracy Lord character, kind of pushing, Dennis out of the way. So it was really kind of funny. The first time you see it, you're like, okay, okay, okay. Then you go back and watch it the second time, oh, it's Frost. That's who's in the club. You know? So I thought was just a great opening. We first meet Blade, not just telling us his origin story. We see him in action. The first time we see him, he is doing it, and I thought that was just great. Great. And he kill everybody, and then he goes to Dennis, and he's down on the ground, think he's gonna get killed, and he just takes him, he turns his head and looks at his neck, and then just leaves him there. So I thought that was great, great opening. Great opening. And
Yeah,
great
it's a
film.
great,
Great
and it
film.
wasn't, and the film wasn't bad. But you know what? It's like
Hmm.
the I I I define a great opening movie scene is that I could watch that opening, and if I had to go out and leave the rest of the film, I could do it. And the
That was
opening for
pretty good.
Blade, opening his Blade is so good. I mean, he throws Dr. Karen out the window, and
Yeah. And so, whoa, whoa. I mean, it throws her into another building, on the top of another building from one building. Scary. But it was great. What a great film. What a great film. And all the way through. Great film. And I love the fact that they had their own mythology and it was explained very quickly. Not a whole lot of him and Han. Just this is how it works, okay? Blah blah blah. The end. Get with the program. You ain't got enough time. And
yeah,
Dr.
not a
Karen,
lot of not a lot of explaining, not a lot of origin story stuff there.
right? You just learn as you go. It's just you got to pick it up as you go. We don't have a lot of time, so that I thought that was good. I mean, they did a great job in that film of getting the origin story. You know, kind of interlaced into the rest of the plot. So yeah, that had great opening, great film, one of my favorites. Um, Anybody else have one? Because I know I have one that is a not favorite, and that I mean, which I know a lot of people love this film, but that is a 2001: Space Odyssey.
Really?
I thought the opening was fantastic, and then it just becomes a big bore fest that you have to suffer through until you get to the end. And that becomes interesting. But with Hal and everything, but everything in between, no, very slow, very slow. I know. Let's say again, I'd say a lot of people love that film. And like I said, the beginning and the end are good filmmaking, but everything in the middle is so slow. And I guess because it's just so it's not the quietness of it either. It's just the absence of anything happening.
Well, there was this video where somebody said that Kubrick was really a subversive genius, and his thing was that he sort of pimped Arthur C. Clarke out to get all of these companies to add stuff to it and everything, like IBM and Boeing and all these other companies. And he was having Clark present, space exploration is really great and fun. This is a great adventure. But Kubrick really wanted to show that it's really kind of like dangerous and boring. And that's what the middle part was supposed to do, was to show that it's really mundane and that the only character that was really engaged in anything was Hal. That everybody else was just doing it because it was a job, but only he took it seriously. So.
Okay, but that's the thing. All
I
right.
think it's a I think it's a Kubrick thing.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a number of films that Kubrick does, and the openings, to me at least, the first 15 to 30 minutes are so good, it almost takes your breath away.
Hmm.
But then it's like the rest of it is like, it doesn't meet the setup.
Right. It's
Maybe that's
comparatively,
yeah.
yeah, comparatively not as great as the opening. And we all know the king of that is Full Metal Jacket. That starts out giving you something that is wow, and basically it's like a movie unto itself. And after that, you could just leave and not see the rest of it. The beginning was definitely something, and then
Yeah,
the second part is just like,
it's the
yeah,
first episode of Goma Pao USMC.
yeah, what possibly really happened in that instance if these things were done to a person like that. And
Well, I think the best part to me, the best part, excuse me, the best part of Full Metal Jacket was the end when you have these young men, fires all around them, walking through a field singing the song from the Mickey Mouse Club. And
But again, like I say, isn't that a Kubrick thing that you have the stuff in the middle, and
Yes.
then
No,
the
I agree.
end.
I agree. The only
Yeah,
other good part was when the recruit, the Marine that the sergeant drove absolutely crazy,
yeah,
went out and
yeah,
shot up everybody.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he only killed the sergeant,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
himself killed
and
himself.
himself,
Yeah,
and himself.
and
Did
himself.
you know that that sergeant was real?
Yes,
yeah, it was real,
That
and
is
that
yeah.
so
started.
cool.
That
No,
was his
I
first.
think it's a
no,
real drill
I
sergeant.
That
I
was his
met
first
him.
role.
You
Yeah,
did.
You
You
that
did?
did.
was his first. That was his
Yeah,
first
I met
role, and
him.
after that, he had a career, a movie
Yeah,
Hollywood career.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I met him. This Embry. He was uh he was a drill sergeant in the Marines. Um, then he decided he wanted to act. If you go to Apocalypse Now,
Uh huh.
the scene where they're in the helicopters and the helicopter that Robert Duvall is in,
Hmm.
and it takes that rocket inside the helicopter. Look at the pilot. That's him.
Whoa, whoa. Well, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's him. And
Well,
then
that's a thing.
years later, when I was up in Westchester County marching with the Westchester Brassmen Drum and Bugle Corps, it was a parade we did, I think, in Purchase, New York, and I came late. Okay, and I didn't know that he was the Grand Marshal.
Whoa.
So I get off the Metro North and I'm running with my stuff. I got my uniform on, and we had already marched off. And the next thing I know, our corps director Joe Mazzullo, he's standing there with Emery,
Whoa.
and Emery looks at me. He said, "Aren't you late, sir?" Like that, and I said, "Yes, I am." Sorry about that. And kept it moving. He even had on his not the full dress Marine Corps uniform, but like the dress greens,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he had his campaign hat on and everything, you know. But yeah, if you go to Apocalypse Now, and when they're attacking the village, and like I said, the rocket goes up into there, and
Mhm.
Robert Duvall is telling everybody to calm down. That's Embry right there, the pilot.
Ah.
He
Wow.
was great. He was good. He was also in the. He was in the Frighteners.
Oh yeah, yeah. He wasn't the Frighteners.
And he was in Eddie Murphy Life. Remember, he was in Life. They stole his
Yes.
daddy's watch.
Was that him?
Yep. You stole my daddy's watch. Remember that?
Oh, when Clarence was the third was killed.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And the Frighteners, I guess, is like a reprise of the
Yeah,
Full
an
Metal Jacket.
homage. Yeah,
Yeah.
an homage to his Full Metal Jacket role. That was good.
I mean,
That
he
was good.
in Full Metal Jacket. Like, what is that? 15 or 30 minutes? I don't know, but it's like the first episode of Goma. If you ever watched
Yeah.
Goma Pile USMC, the first episode
Mhm.
is actually what Full Metal Jacket did. It's
Yeah.
like what would happen in reality. It's like you
Yes.
know, it's like you
It's like almost scene for scene. The
yeah.
first
But what would
episode of Goma
happen if
Pile
you kept messing up? You got a person in your
unit.
unit that
Yeah.
keep messing up. You probably will get beaten by soap
Yes.
with
Yeah. That
soap.
would happen. Probably happen to you. Yep. 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 But then that was it, man. He went off the deep end then. So that was very interesting. But yeah, that beginning was fantastic. Ending, like you say, fantastic. In the middle's a little bit muddled.
Yeah, and he was told by Kubrick not to interact with the actors
Mm,
every
He did a
day.
good job.
yeah.
Every day. Well, first of all, the actors in Full Metal Jacket, they actually went through
Basic
boot camp.
training.
Yeah,
Mm,
through boot camp. And Kubrick told in fact I think he told Kubrick that the best way to get this thing going, because he actually, it was another actor that was supposed to play the drill sergeant part, and Emery was just there as an advisor,
Mm,
and I think the backstory was he pulled Kubrick to the side and said, "Listen, this guy is not. He's not
mhm,
really doing a good job as drill sergeant, you
mhm,
know." And so he took over, and one of the stipulations was that he would never interact with the actors offset.
mhm,
Okay, he would just come on, and a lot of them took it personally until
mhm,
after the movie was finished,
mhm,
and then I think they got to know they had a rap party
mhm,
or whatever they call it,
mhm,
and he told them, listen, this is what I
mhm,
had to do to get that out of you.
He was great. I mean, Private Snowball, the black private.
mhm.
It's like I hate to inform you that we don't have a steady diet of fried chicken and watermelon.
Yeah, I get to sit and take that crap for that guy. But I think the one scene they said like when he does a thing, he said, to put his cover wasn't on correct, and so
D'Onofrio.
yeah, and he says, which side's your left or your right, and he gets him, and he said, this is your left, and this and it just turns on his head, and he said that at that scene, it's supposed to be a fake slap, and Kubrick said, no, I want you to hit him, and he's kind of like, okay, this is a big guy. I do this. It's like, D'Onofrio ain't a little guy. He's like, this guy could possibly, I do this. He doesn't stay in character. I'm rude. But he said, no, just hit him. And he said, and
No,
that,
he hit his
and
brim.
yeah, but he hit him, and his head took it around, but he actually hit him, and you could say D'Onofrio's like he's, he did that huffing thing you do, like you're really mad at somebody, but he stays in character. You
Now
know,
pick up your cover.
pick up your cover. He said when he turned around in his head, it just stood all the way around 360 degrees on his head. So,
Yeah,
and he's just like, he said, well, you really hit him.
Kubrick
yeah, and
was
that writer that wrote the book,
Hmm.
he got in deep trouble. In fact, Cranston, you should like this. He got in deep trouble with he was like a serial um book, I guess, overdue thief or whatever. Because when I think this one library was asking for a book,
Hmm.
and he said he don't know what happened to it, this and that. And so actually they called the police, I think it was, and
What?
when they went in his backyard, he had like a shed back there. He had like tons of books that he checked out of the library and didn't bring back.
You got to
That's
be
city
kidding!
says.
And
well,
they sent the cops to get the book.
you
Yeah,
have
I
Is
think
that
to
what
tell
you do? That's what
them
you do, Cranston?
that is city property. And when
No,
we
wait a
do
minute.
Oh
No, wait
my
a minute. Wait a minute.
God!
Now,
this
Ew.
now
bill
I've
you
had
for
wait a minute.
an
I've had
overdue
overdue.
book, we
I've had
charge
over.
you the replacement price, and once it gets over $300 in Florida, anything over $300 is considered a felony. So yes, we will send the
No,
police.
no. I've
You
had.
got to be
Listen.
kidding, man.
no,
I've
and
had overdue.
I
I've had
think his
overdue library books in New York City. And so what they do in New York City in the civilized world is that if you come back to the library and try to borrow a book, they say, "No, Mr. Otto, you cannot borrow a book because you have outstanding books." They don't call the cops.
no, but I think what the situation was is that he just kept borrowing books,
How?
borrowing.
How can you if they stop you?
If you
I
know
don't
that you
know.
have outstanding
But
books.
they won't let you check books out anymore
I don't know
unless you're
what
just
it
going in
was.
there and stealing them.
All
You
I know is when they
have
went into his that shed, he had like close to between 300 and 400 books in
I
there
said,
Yeah,
that he had checked
you
out.
know my response is to that? Huh? Amateur. Amateur.
well, as a
That's
matter of
what.
things now, most libraries they've abolished overdue fines. The only thing
Yeah,
you can do
Good, good.
is just block your account and say you need to bring some of this other stuff back, and then you can get some
Right,
more.
right,
That's what
right.
they
That's what
do in
they
New York.
did. And I
That's
mean,
what they
I
do
grew
in
up,
New York.
well,
You
I
can't
well,
I grew up
borrow.
in
New
South
York.
Florida, and
Well,
they just stop you until you bring it back. And
well,
Right, you
then
see,
if you
can't
have like a
borrow
whole
any more
bunch of books,
books.
well,
no, well,
we
see,
had
in New
all these books, we
York,
had to take them all back at the same time with other books so that they didn't, get us. So either here's the books we owe you, and how about these other books that we have in our home that you may have? So that's what we had to do in
Yeah,
order
well,
to
here in New
escape
York,
millions of fines.
they don't bother with a late fee or anything like that. They'll keep contacting you, and if you don't bring it back, you know,
You can't borrow any more books.
yeah.
Listen, I got
Well,
I
Yeah,
got
well,
I,
not no. You can New York if the book is late, you can still buy a book,
no,
but
no, no. I mean, if you don't bring it, I don't know about the libraries that you went to, but the libraries I went to, they wouldn't let me borrow any
no,
more books.
I understand
mhm,
that. They used to do the same thing in the Bronx, but what I'm saying now is they don't charge late fees anymore.
Yeah,
They
well,
don't. Now,
these,
if you if say like you coming in, you say
mhm.
you totally lost the book, then you got to pay for it.
Right, you got to replace
But
it.
here in New York, they really don't bother with it. And let me tell y'all something. You would be surprised at the amount of books the New York Public Library throws out per day.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay, because when I worked in the library annex on 43rd Street between 10th and 11th, every morning the truck drivers would come in and they would load the trucks up with books to go to brand new books to go to libraries. Then
Uh-huh.
they would bring books like one library will ask, if another library, say Staten Island, the Manhattan Library will ask if they have this book,
Hmm.
can they send it there? And they have these uh, circulation buckets, okay? But in the loading dock area, they have a long dumpster, which every day they throw hundreds upon hundreds of books out.
Mm.
I mean, from the time that I was working in a library, my home library was fantastic.
Hmm.
Okay, because I would go in there, and sometimes I would even find books from the 1920s and that they throwing out.
Wow.
Well, sometimes we throw them out because they are outdated. Like somebody will bring us a 1957 set of Encyclopedia Britannicas, which are woefully outdated, so they get thrown out. Sometimes things come back that have that you just can't circulate anymore. They're water damaged, they're missing pages or whatever. We throw them out. There's this guy at one library I worked that would always get cookbooks, and he would always get the brand new cookbooks. He'd bring them back and plop them down on the counter. And when he did, roaches would scatter everywhere.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so those you have to kind of throw out. So we don't throw
Whew.
them out just without good reason.
Without
Sometimes,
cause. Yeah.
yeah. So we don't throw them out just willy nilly or something like oh, this is a new Stephen King and a James Patterson, okay, like that and stuff. So we don't do that. If we throw it out, we have a good reason for doing it.
I should give them to prisons or something.
We
So they can
do.
read stuff.
We do give them to prisons, and also we donate them to the book sales, and we sell them and use that money to buy new books too. But it's
Oh
not like
yeah, I love library book sales. When back in the day when I used to travel a lot for the job, I would first of all check out the library and see if they were having a sale. And then I'd load up
Mhm.
and bring all these books home in my suitcase.
Mm.
Except this only happened once, but man, TSA, they go through your suitcase. They took a book that I hadn't read yet, a Tim Powers book that I was really looking forward to read, and they stole it.
Well, hopefully that book had roaches in it, and then
I
they
hope
got me.
so.
Ah.
Yeah.
But what was their justification for taking it?
When the suitcase goes through, um, the checkpoint or whatever they have to do, you're not there. They just took it. They
Hmm.
stole it.
Yeah, I had that happen to our luggage a number of times. Like we got our stuff, and then we look at it, and then they leave a note. They're nice. They
Yeah.
leave
By
a
the
note.
way, we touched your stuff.
Well,
Okay.
I don't mind if they want to touch my dirty underwear, that's fine. I mean, I don't care about that. But because the thing is I had the books under my clothes.
Mm,
So they went through my suitcase and they took the book.
Well, that's
wow.
what you get for trying to hide education.
Well, only thing I
Well,
can
the thing is, for us, ours was food, and I mean, they went into this food. They opened it,
Yeah,
the
they went to
food.
our yes, our
Yeah, and it's like
spices
with
and stuff.
pepper. They popped
Yeah,
open the pepper can and got pepper all over everything.
because
Why?
how competent can these
Why?
people? How competent could they be?
Exactly.
the case of the book, the only thing I can think that may have happened if they use detection strips, which are like plastic strips,
Oh, those little metal
and that would
strips.
set off the detector, so they just take it out for that reason.
Cranston, why are you apologizing for those morons?
Well,
Yeah, Chris, I get it. I get what you're talking about, but these books didn't have that.
Yeah,
These
no,
were just, I mean,
they
whatever
took her
the
shit.
library did, they were just books.
They took her
Mm,
shit. They
They
didn't want her
just
to
took
have it.
my book. That's it.
Yeah,
or maybe
that's messed
somebody
up.
wanted to finish that series too.
Oh,
Yeah, there
well,
you go.
you know what? I guess I should also mention that when I went to that library and bought books, I bought 6 of them.
Hmm.
And when I got home, I had 5.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I
Oh
would have been
yeah,
mad.
somebody
Steve,
told that.
Yeah.
It's, oh, I've been looking for this.
you know what? I think one time we were going to buy something from like the Philadelphia Library, Plutarch or
Yeah,
something. We didn't purchase it,
yeah,
and you know what? I'm so happy we didn't because it would
yeah,
be one of those things where I'm going to read Plutarch. I'm going to read it.
yeah.
Like I didn't read it in
That's it. That
college.
had a
What the
cool
hell makes you think I'm
copy
going to
of the
come home and read
Parallel
that?
Lives. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm
we
going to
didn't
read
buy it.
that when I get home.
Hmm. That wouldn't
I'm
have
not.
happened.
Yeah,
We just
it just be
had,
taking up space.
all these tomes of Plutarch that we had to move from place to place. So there you go. So again, we don't have any movies. I guess, well, there are some movies that are based on things that were like, you know, Plutarch possibly.
How about movies that
Thucydides. Was it 300? Was that? I didn't like that film anyway, but
The
maybe other
open, you
people
like the
did.
opening though?
I don't know. I don't like the fact that the way that they did the film, that they had the people who were the darker, skinned individuals who were, portrayed negatively Persians. And then, of course, Peter Mensa, who's the messenger, for the Persians, that they kicking him in his chest down into a pit or something. I didn't like that. I did not like that at all. And so, again, they try to portray this thing about the 300 as if it's, oh, look at them holding back, all the Persians. But what they didn't say was that the reason why is because it was a bottleneck. So if you're there and you are at this bottleneck, and no matter whether you're 8,000 people or 2,000 or 200, if nobody can get through the bottleneck to get to you, and you've got all your weapons there with you, and these people, they're trying to come towards you, and you're just killing them at the bottleneck. Oh well, boy, so heroic. Wow.
how about movies that have problems in the middle? Because
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of them do have problems in the middle.
if if you notice with a lot of spaghetti westerns, um, martial arts movies, and certain European movies, they tend to start off great at the beginning and have a great ending, but it's like a lull in the middle of the movie where things just slow down, get quiet. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's like maybe this is what all not all, but most directors in that did spaghetti westerns. This is something that they felt it best to do. But yeah, it's usually the middle with those types of
Hmm.
pictures.
Isn't it every James Bond movie? Isn't it his reputation to begin with a boffo beginning?
Yeah, that's true.
Every
Yes.
single one.
That's true.
Yeah, except for they start to get kind of
Campy, hokey,
yeah
bad.
when Roger Moore took over. They started to get silly because at one I think is For Your Eyes Only. I could be wrong, but there's one opening scene where he gets, oh god, what is Blofeld? I think is the name of the villain, and he actually scoops him up on
Helicopter blade, yeah.
one of the one of the bars of a helicopter, and he's like flying through the air, and Blofeld is pleading for his life, and at one point he says, "I'll even buy you a delicatessen in New York if you let me go." And you're like, where the hell did that
What?
come from? Yeah, what?
Yeah, what?
And then he drops him, he drops him down a chimney. You know, but
Oh,
this, but the thing about James Bond movies is everybody, and still do, everybody wants to see the title sequence.
Hmm.
Okay, because I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Bender. He was famous for creating the opening title sequence for most of the Bond films.
They were great. I mean, the openings and the opening song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's always,
yeah,
I like Goldfinger.
yeah.
Anything,
Shirley Bassey.
all the
Yeah.
openings that had Shirley Bassey associated.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Diamonds are forever.
I would even give Nancy Sinatra credit for you only live twice. You know.
Yeah, but too. I think Sheena Easton for Your Eyes
Sheena
Only.
Easton blew it up.
Yeah,
Oh man, she
yeah.
Yeah,
was great. Was she nominated for an Oscar for that?
I think something she was nominated for. I
She
think
was
an Oscar.
great with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you also have to remember Shirley Bassey. She also did Diamonds Are Forever too.
Yeah,
Yes. Hmm.
Diamond Forever, Goldfinger,
Hmm.
uh, Doctor
Moonraker.
No. Was it Doctor No?
Moonraker. Who did
Well,
No,
Moonraker?
Doctor No, believe it or not, it had that was right before Bender took over
Hmm.
doing the title sequences. So the the opening title sequence for Doctor No is kind of weird and whatnot, because they didn't really have anybody singing a Bafo type
Yeah,
of
but
song.
I
Yeah.
like it. Isn't it the one with the Russian lady has like a blade in her boot?
no, that's from Russia with Love.
Okay, well that one too then.
Dr. No was the one that introduced the James Bond theme.
Yeah, yeah, and see another thing. Speaking of disappointments, from Russia with Love, it's it's a little bit of an oddball out of the James Bond movies during the Sean Connery era because it had a great opening sequence where you see James Bond being murdered, but
Hmm.
then again, as the movie goes on, it's a lull,
The
and
whole movie's alone. It's
yeah.
only James Bond movies. The only thing good about James Bond movies, to be honest, is the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, but when you look at it, the middle holds up a little better than, like I said, except for From Russia with Love, because I can remember actually going seeing that in the movie theater, and I kind of dozed in the
Really?
middle, yeah, in the middle of it. Meanwhile, yeah, the other pictures have issues, but at least it kept you interested because eventually somewhere in the middle of the movie, James Bond's gonna kill somebody, and he's gonna have that catchphrase. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. He drops a refrigerator on somebody. Says, "Okay, chill out, dude," or something like that.
Or he's gonna have some woman with some outrageous sexualized name. You know.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Oh,
Yeah.
it makes me
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. I'm watching this.
And so the
Hey,
pussy
as
galore.
yeah, as a child,
Yeah.
I watched it, and I heard someone's name was Pussy Galore. I was like,
It's
oh,
like,
So
they're like,
uncomfortable.
are they
yeah,
allowed to
I'm
say
looking for
that?
an exit. I gotta get out.
Yeah, they're allowed to say that.
I'm uncomfortable. And number one, I never saw a James Bond movie as a child, so I don't know what James is doing. But then number two, number
well,
two,
well, see, here's the no, no. Here's the thing. In your neighborhood movie theater,
Mhm.
okay, when I was, I say, from maybe 9 to 10 years old, right? What the neighborhood movie did is, first of all, unless it was an X-rated movie, they really didn't bother you
Mm.
when you came to go to the movie. They didn't say, "Oh, well, this is rated R. You can't
You
come
can't
in."
You
go
had
No.
in.
X-rated movies in your neighborhood?
After a while, the Ward Theater they were struggling to survive. So on certain every other weekends, they would show porn.
God damn.
And
Yeah,
the
the
place was
Ward
jammed.
Theater.
Hmm.
But what finally killed the Ward Theater was, again, 1975, Jaws. Okay, because
Which is
again,
also, I hate to interrupt, but it also has great openings, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah. That's a
exactly.
great one.
Once Jaws came out, that was it. I mean, the it seemed like the next day the War Theater, they closed down so fast that for like a year you
Right.
walk
Well,
up
okay.
by yeah,
But why? What would that have to do with Jaws? What's the what happened?
because Jaws was a game changer in that I know in my neighborhood
Hmm.
when we heard Jaws was playing in Manhattan down in Times Square, I
Hmm.
think the National, we wanted to go down there and see it down there
Right.
because we didn't want to wait because see what it was,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
Neighborhood theaters. In fact, let me tell you the life of a movie. You get a movie, right?
Hmm.
It premieres somewhere, it premieres downtown. They're showing it at the Ziegfeld or the National or whatever. Then after a while, it ends up in the neighborhood theaters after about a month. So people didn't want to go downtown, so they waited for that movie to come the to the neighborhood.
Right.
Then after the neighborhood, back then the network television, the network CBS, ABC, NBC, they would have the world premiere of that same movie. Okay, then maybe a year, 2 years later, the movie is on the Late Late Show. Okay, that same movie that had the big premiere that went from Manhattan to here to there.
Hmm.
Now you're watching it a couple years later on the Late Late Show.
Hmm.
Then that movie would just disappear until finally VHS came along and Betamax.
Wow.
You know, there's a theater around my way that does second run movies, and I guess that's what you're talking about, Jay.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and the thing about it is, it's worth to me. Well, you know, I'm not a real movie buff, but it's worth waiting for because the matinee tickets are like $3.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
And you know the other thing is college movie theaters. I mean, we had so many free movies at our university. All you had to show was your college ID, and you got in.
hmm
Hmm.
People don't know, but you know,
Well,
talking.
that's because your school fees paid for the movie run.
I don't care, man. As long as it's free to me,
you
I'm getting it free. I got to pay
you
no
you
more.
you
Let me
already
put it that
paid.
way. I don't have to pay no more.
Mhm.
Um, a Shaft. You know, Penelope, you sent me that thing about Isaac Hayes
Yes.
and the theme to Shaft.
Hmm.
That's a bad opening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I got so verklempt. My sister sent the David Letterman show where Isaac Hayes is there and he is directing, the band slash orchestra they had in performing the theme song for Shaft. It was so great. It was so
yeah.
great.
I met Isaac Hayes.
Really?
Yeah, I was you
Wow.
know, back in the day, I was having lunch at a restaurant in Union Station, and there's this man sitting off to my left, and I just kept looking at him.
So I know you. I know you.
Yeah, and I said, well, I don't want to get up, you know, because
Mhm.
this man's trying to eat lunch.
Mhm.
Finally, I just couldn't. I walked over and I said, excuse me, are you Isaac Hayes? And he gave me an autograph picture. It was so cool.
Cool. Cool.
he didn't say shut your mouth.
No, he didn't. He did not.
A trivial note that when they were casting for Shaft, Isaac Hayes
Mhm.
auditioned to play Shaft.
Wow.
Really?
Well,
And
he was in the so-called black exploitation
Yeah,
movie
he's
called
Truck Turner.
Truck
Truck
Turner.
Turner.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gordon Parks said, "Okay, well, no, we're not good for that, but you want to do the music?"
He did a
Oh,
great job.
okay. Yeah,
He did a great job.
he did. That's just great.
That's the movie that saved MGM's ass too.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Great opening.
Yes.
After that Shaft open, he's walking through. I think it's 40 Times Square, 42nd, some Midtown.
Yeah,
Something
Times
like that.
Square.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's walking through there, and he walks through the streets like a New Yorker in a hurry. I
Yeah.
love that, man. That's so cool, right? You don't give a damn where the car is going to hit. You better not hit me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta get from one place to another. You better not hit me.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. And then the way that it ended, I thought was kind of cool. Drew Bundini Brown, Muhammad Ali's, I guess one of his hanger-ons was in that
Yes,
movie.
Corner Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was in that movie. But in the middle is kind of
Mhm. Soft in the middle, huh?
it's
Soft
okay.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it had such a great score, the soundtrack that kind of pieced together the stuff going through the middle. A lot of the music was taking you on this journey through the film, so I like that.
What about Superfly? Curtis
Yeah, I
Mayfield.
don't even remember the opening to Superfly, except that I believe that Freddy,
He
who's
dies later in the
dead.
movie. He
Yeah,
dies
I
later
don't
in the
know.
movie. Yeah. But
He's doing something at the beginning, huh?
with Superfly is going through with his what was he driving? A Cadillac? Something.
Was the diamond in the back
No, he was
car
driving
with
something with the when the Superfly theme is going on. He's
hmm
driving a caddy. I'm not sure what it is. That's a great beginning.
You know that's another thing. A lot of people mistakenly think that Curtis Mayfield did "Be Happy." What's the name of the song? "Be Happy for What You Have or What You Got."
Yeah, that's not him.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Be
it,
thankful what you got.
thankful for what you got. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, it was. That wasn't Curtis Mayfield.
A great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, sunroof
Sun
top,
rooftop,
digging the
digging the
scene with a
steam with the
gangster
gangster
lean.
lean.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew it was him. But I'm saying the car I thought that he was driving
Do do
was like a
do
Lincoln with
do
a
do
diamond in the
do
back. Huh?
do do do
Mm.
do 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 do.
Okay, one of the sad things during the 70s was people mutilating their cars for things that they saw in the movies. And there's this one guy that decided to decorate his car with carpet samples. So he had all of these
Wow.
samples glued to his car, which stayed in place until it rained.
Oh my goodness.
And then
Whoa!
you track his progress by all of those carpet samples that got waterlogged and fell off as he drove down the street.
Oh
So
my goodness. Well, there you go.
That's what he gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a '70s thing right there. Yeah.
Trying to
Well,
be
it was.
cute. He's
but
trying to be
Yeah.
cute.
but two movie openings that I think really held up. One going back to James Bond was The Spy Who Loved Me. I think that's those
Oh
names.
yeah, Carly Simon. Spy Who
Carly.
What's
Loved
the
Me.
song?
Yeah.
How did the song go?
He's, and they
Nobody does it better.
Yeah.
Oh
Nobody
yeah,
Yeah.
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
and they said one time. Now the thing is, as much as grief as Roger Moore got about those movies, that in the 50-year history of James Bond movies, his movies are still the highest grossing.
Really?
Yeah, and the opening for "The Spy Who Loved Me," it has to be, if not the best, right up there, the top five. Okay. I mean that whole thing where he goes off the cliff
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it just seemed like he was falling forever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And finally his parachute lets out. Yeah, that's why, like I said, by the time it got to "For Your Eyes Only" with that thing with the helicopter,
Hmm.
you know. But then again, they said that not Bender, um, it- even with Roger Moore. After so many films, the franchise was starting to get a little stale. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I
No, the
think
openings are good.
the magazine had once described it as Roger Moore as an occasional stand-in for the stunt performers.
Oh yeah.
Well, another
It was
series
mid
of
50s by the
movies,
time they finally phased him out.
another series of movies that have like Boffo openings. Isn't it the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible films?
Yeah, Mission Impossibles have a lot of good openings. They do. They have a lot of good openings. I give them that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
movies don't match sometimes.
Yeah. But they have good openings. Their little spy openings are good, which I gather are supposed to mirror the openings that they have of the actual show. Kind of, something cute, and eye catching at the beginning.
well, Close Encounters of the Third Kind had a opening I think was pretty good.
Well,
You know.
yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, when I saw that film when I was a young person, and I agree. I said, well, that's a good opening. But then I saw it again as an adult, and I saw like the character that Dreyfus is playing, how in his home life, his children were so awful, and it was awful, marriage with his wife. I thought, wow, I don't remember that nastiness. But I guess then it's kind of like a setup, I guess, for the ending. If you all have never seen the ending of this 40-year-old film, that that he leaves with the aliens. So I guess, yeah, they're trying to set up that he doesn't have this great, wonderful, happy home life to go back to. So yeah, why not leave with the aliens? I thought that was kind of weird, though.
Well,
Well,
see,
with me, the home life when I saw it even the first time, I was like, Christ, I would not like to be their next door neighbors.
Yeah,
The whole family was dysfunctional.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, but that opening sequence when the researchers, Truffaut and the researchers, they
Mhm,
go out into the desert
mhm,
and they find the, the planes
mhm,
from Flight
mhm,
19,
mhm.
and especially the old man, they went to him, and it's like one side of his face, okay, the other side was sunburned. And what did he say in Spanish? I think they saw the stars
You're coming through
dance.
garbled for me. Is that just me?
Yeah, it's garbled.
You're coming a little garbled.
Yeah, yeah, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the opening part with, where they find the planes, and when they go to the old man who's supposed to be the watchman in that place, and it's like one side of his face is is normal, and the other side is sunburned, and he says that the stars came. I think he said that the stars came down and danced with him,
Mhm.
and I remember seeing that in the movie. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
this is gonna be interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, this is
Okay.
gonna be interesting. Even though, like I said, actually, I wanted to swat the two boys, Dreyfus's family.
Yeah. Those
You
children are
know,
horrible.
yeah,
despite that, Spielberg has said that looking back on it, said he could not make that movie the same way today because it was
Mhm.
before he had children. Once
Ah.
children, he said, I couldn't see leaving them for any reason, no matter what.
No,
So,
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing, you think I think they're trying to make, oh, these are so bad, and this is bad, but how would you ever leave your children? How could I just think, yeah. When I thought about it, if you had asked me between the time I saw it when I was young and the time when I saw it again, if you just asked me of the clear blue sky, um, so how many children did he have? And I would have sworn that he was single, you know?
No,
Yeah, but I went back and said, "Oh my gosh, that's right."
yeah,
But I mean, I would have said, "Why not make this into a single person?" In fact, that's what I would have done, in
yeah. I
that
don't know
sense,
why
because
they did it that. I don't
yeah,
know why they
yeah,
did it that way, but it wasn't.
yeah,
You
To
know.
show that even with his ties, he would still go. That's
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
why.
yeah.
yeah.
or the
But
fact that
again,
if
like
your
Stuart said,
family,
he
if
did it
you're
before he had
leaving,
children
you
and
abandon them.
understood, yeah, that that's not a thing you do.
Well,
Yeah.
but
No,
you know
we don't.
what? But he did it anyway, so it's
Yeah.
always there.
And I hate to say it, but I'm quite sure at that time, maybe even now, across America, you have
There's a demographic that would
yeah,
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm going out for some alien cigarettes. I'll be right
Oh, yeah,
back.
that's right. You know, pack of alien cigarettes. Yeah, here you go. Very good, Otto. See
You
what's in
know,
your.
you know the
Well,
thing. The other movie is Superman, Superman 2. The opening for Superman 2, which
Yeah.
basically shows you that the
The
first movie
Phantom Zone.
they could have been the first movie could have been done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, because basically the opening of Superman 2 is like previously on Superman. You know, that's what it is, and
Yeah,
then the
yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah.
But I
yeah,
like
because
the
they
Phantom Zone.
filmed both of
Which one?
them.
And the
Yeah,
first, which one shows the Phantom Zone? The first one or the second one?
Both.
both.
When they put them in the Phantom, that part I think is fantastic. And also with like when they're running and they're trying to get out of it, it's like, well, I think it's awful when he and it's just Jor-El and his wife they're running and stuff. But where to? What's the point? Your planet's getting ready to blow up. Why are you running? Don't you have any like Kryptonian suicide drugs or something that you all should have taken? Something since you already knew what was going to happen. You know, something. I mean, in fact, I think it's kind of cruel to not have had that available for the entire population if you knew, or had some way to get them off, you know, the planet if you knew.
Well, but to me, Superman 2, the opening shows the Phantom Zone, the more detailed version
Yes,
of
yeah.
Guilty, and then it shows you parts of the first movie, but it's like the
Hmm.
first movie could have been. You mean you tell me that it could have been done in 7 minutes? Because that's basically
Is what
everything
it
you need
is.
to know.
No, well they filmed Superman both one and two together.
Really.
Yeah,
mm,
Well, my
I know,
question is,
but the
then
first
why is
movie,
Superman
like it's
2 so much better than
they
the first
stretched.
one?
It's like the first one was stretch it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Superman 2. I thought it was really well done.
It's
yeah.
better than the first one.
I think it is. It's better than the first one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than the first one. I don't know. I guess because they filmed both of them together, it came down to the editing, and like you
Hmm.
said, although they stretched it, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, you say I know we're moving into like the half hour and the stretch. I think it's saying that we end like the half hour later, but um, M Night's films, The Sixth Sense, had a good opening, but some of his were over um edited or unedited. The director's cuts, some of the stuff that they had in the films kept. But I think The Sixth Sense also. What is the other one?
Unbreakable. I love
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable when
Unbreakable. The openings.
she's having a
Unbreakable.
baby in the
Yes.
John Wanamakers in
Yes.
Philadelphia,
Yes.
and it's so
Yeah.
anxious and
Yeah.
overwrought. And
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. Great openings. I know Unbreakable. You like the entire film, Otto.
Yeah, I stayed around for the rest of it,
Yeah.
including the end, including
And Sixth Sense.
the James Goodrich part where he falls down that subway stair.
Yeah. My God. You know what? That's one of the best film
Samuel
horrible
L.
scenes.
Jackson
Oh
falls
my
down the subway.
gosh.
I cannot watch that
Oh
part of
my
the
gosh.
movie
Oh my
without
gosh.
thinking of our dear friend James. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Now every time I see it, I think of James falling
Okay,
down
well,
the hard subway stairs.
I'm going. You see what y'all started. I'm going to come up with a list, and the list is going to be called scenes or movies that you shouldn't laugh at, but I laughed at it anyway.
That's good.
oh
That's a
yeah,
good
all
one.
those cruel movies like The Birds and the
Yeah. He laughed at children getting chased down by
yeah,
crows. Come
somebody
on,
getting
man.
tortured.
Yeah. Come
Yeah,
on, man. He said laugh at it. He
hip hip
laughed.
hilarious for
Not
Mr. Goodrich.
horrified, but laughing.
Yeah,
Okay.
hip
That's
hilarious
great.
for him.
Mhm. That's a
I
shame.
well,
listen.
that's how I felt with American Fiction's open. I shouldn't be laughing at this when she was so insulted,
Oh yeah, that.
and I said,
That's offensive. That's
"Put
okay.
the-
That's if I can get
Uh,
if I can get past it, I think you can.
yeah,
Yeah. So come on. Come on.
oh, okay, okay. So now we know that Everybody has their moments too, huh?
Yeah, the things
But
that
not like yours, though. Not like
no,
you.
no,
You're
no.
in a special place.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you that scene. When I see it, and I think of the fact that you fell down those hearts, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my, how are you still in one piece, man? How are you still in one
He's
piece?
Jesus Christ.
unbreakable.
You know that's
Mhm.
yeah.
There you go.
No,
He's
he's very
unbreakable.
breakable. He's
Yeah.
breakable. He's
Oh my
very breakable.
goodness.
You know
Every
the
time
thing.
this scene freaks me out every time. Every time I see it.
That's the one thing my mother always told me. Boy, don't be running down the subway stairs. You fall.
Yep. Yep. And there you
And
go.
Jane fell down
And
the
Jay's,
stairs.
yep, he proved her
Yeah, I
right.
think the thing that for that I think the thing that does it for that scene is what Hitchcock said about if you stretch out the suspense of the moment that builds it up to dread, and it's
Hmm.
like you know he's going to fall and you're hoping he doesn't, but you're still
Yeah.
you want to see it and you don't want to see it at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have a new problem.
Hmm.
Okay, and this one is a lot of movies, a lot of movies over the years. You guys have heard of the Wilhelm scream, right?
Oh
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay, the Wilhelm scream. It was, oh God, I can't remember his name. There was this actor that was on Rawhide, right? And I think he was also a country western singer. And one day he was in the studio doing work for dubbing on a film. So the the people in the studio say, okay, we need for this part of the movie, look at it, and we need for you to scream because in this part, alligator gobbles up, I think a prospector or explorer or
Okay.
something, and he bites him real in the leg. The person is in the water. So
Hmm.
when they showed it, he gave out this really crazy scream. You
Huh.
know, it's almost it's like a oh type of thing,
It's
and it was so good that it's been used in I would say close to maybe 50 or more movies,
You gotta be kidding.
cartoons,
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, I found.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Um. So
There's a
yeah, go ahead.
no. I put a link in
Okay.
for
So now here's the problem. I now that I heard it and I laugh at it. Now the problem is movies that I take serious. It's gonna have some of them are gonna have that scream in there. So what do I do now? Do I laugh? Do I you know do I get willpower and not laugh and whatnot?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, every Christmas, in New York, they sold King Kong. That scene in King Kong where King Kong is like flipping over that log when the guys are trying to
That
cross,
that's another one I laugh
Oh
at.
and the
my
dude and it
gosh.
falls and just oh!
Ooh.
This
We used to in that house we just lived for that. We lived for that.
you not you see everybody has it
Yeah, yep.
in
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Nothing for nothing. And see, it's not it's see what makes me laugh about that part is back then the practical effects were really practical.
Hmm.
So you see the sailors falling are basically rag dolls that they dressed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like the scream is like you can't really take it serious because
Come
one
on.
guy's like oh woo
Oh,
woo you know, and so I'm sorry I can't help it. I laugh at
no,
that,
I
but
give you that
see,
one because we all laugh. We all laugh.
but
Everybody in my house laughed at
but
that. That's
but
just funny.
see what probably would have made me not scream is that actually there was a scene that after they hit the bottom of that canyon, there was
Hmm.
supposed to be there were giant tarantulas or spiders that were to come out and just tear them apart.
But that's why he said, "Ooh."
Yeah.
First he said and then he saw
Ugh.
the spider. He said, oh,
But they said
No, that's
that
when he hit the ground. Ugh.
oh.
they said that when they test marketed the movie, it's either they test marketed and people were so horrified that they had to delete that scene,
Really?
or I can't remember, or it might have been that the studio head said, "Oh no, that's
Too
kind of
much.
that's a bit much, don't you think?" There, you know. So yeah, that scene was deleted. The only thing that's left is somewhere they have production stills of the tarantulas.
Huh.
You know, of course they were probably puppets, but yeah, so I probably would not have screamed at that, but otherwise,
That's
chuckle,
funny.
chuckle, chuckle,
That is
chuckle to
funny.
that too. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
legitimately funny. What about the opening to Citizen Kane?
Oh yeah, that's a good opening. That's a good opening.
And see, and
Rosebud.
see, see
With
now
the
that's
little boy, when he's a little boy and they come and say your uncle is sending for you and the mom has to let him go, that's a good opening.
yeah, and Citizen came for the classic that it is because I love it. Um, it's a little bit of a lull in it, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But
Agreed.
what I love about it though that makes up for that lull is Orson Welles was a master of dialogue because he understood that in real life sometimes people talk over each other, okay,
Yes.
or sometimes people talk at each other
Yes.
instead of a regular conversation. That's one thing I love about it because it gives a realness to his movies. You know,
Yeah, and I
people.
like the fact that he has scenes, especially like in Magnificent Ambersons, that
Another good opening. Another
yeah,
good opening.
another good opening, that are like in dark, like the people are talking, but you don't see their faces.
Hmm.
They're not lit up. You just see they're in shadow. Because that's the way sometimes you're talking to people. You don't see their faces. They're in shadow. And you have no problem with putting a scene forward that the people are in shadow. So I like that.
And it makes you pay attention to the dialogue.
Yeah. Yep. It's true.
But
I've
another
got
thing that
I've,
has a good opening, and well, you have a 5 minutes to get you settled down for it, and then the opening comes, is Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
I don't know. I've never seen that film.
no,
Oh,
oh my God. Um, wow. The opening for Saving Private Ryan, it's intense. It's really intense. Okay, because when they hit that beach, okay, I mean, people. Some people didn't even get off the troop carriers before they brought the farm. Okay, and especially the part where one soldier gets his arm blown off and he picks up his arm like it's nothing, and he's just in a daze walking around holding his arm.
right, where did this come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, I think Saving Private Ryan is a very good anti-war film because
Mhm.
it shows, this is not a joke, this is not a game. You know, I mean, a quarter of the soldiers that hit the beach on Normandy didn't didn't get past the beach that day.
When you think about it, what nerve, what gall for rooms full of old men to send so many young men to die
Hmm.
like that. It's just what a
That's the
horror.
that's the message with Paths of Glory.
Mhm.
You know, that's the message with Paths of Glory. That's another good anti anti-war movie.
Mhm. I think about, for instance, we talked around it a little bit, but another film, a great opening sequence to me is Psycho. We start out with this woman and she's just, her job, trying to make money. She wants to get married. And
But it's kind
then
of tame, isn't it? Tame.
it's tame, but it's like a setup, of this one movie. And then it becomes another movie. That's why I like it. When she steals the money and she sees her boss and the guy and she stops and they walk right in front of it and they see her and they're like, you
What are
know,
you doing here?
quizzical expression, and she gets the heck up out of there. That thing of that movie, it's just like one small little movie at the beginning of someone making getting ready to make a bad decision and makes a
Yeah,
bad.
that's what makes it a classic because
Hmm.
the movie starts off. You could have, if it had just went straight how it was, it would have
Hmm.
been good for a regular episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, you
Hmm.
know. But then it takes that crazy
Sharp
ass
turn,
sharp turn.
sharp turn. Yeah,
It's such a sharp turn it gives you whiplash.
yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, I do like the beginning of that because again, this thing, this woman, she's struggling with this idea, just her intended, her
Well, it's a
boyfriend, he's
trick.
so
It's
far
a
dead.
trick too,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
you expect Janet Leigh was then a major
Hmm.
star. You expect for her to be in the remainder of the movie, right?
Absolutely.
That's what people
Absolutely.
thought. That's what people thought when they brought that
Janet Leigh
movie
film,
ticket.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Fine.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. And I like that at the beginning, even though again it's like a divergence from what you think the film is going to be at the beginning. You're watching it and it's like, wait, what? Wait, what just happened here? This what happened here? So yeah, I enjoyed that. And not look at time. At time is clicking. But one thing I want to say, I know we're leaning toward the ending of the show, but I just read something interestingly, and it came up on my screen saying that beginning on the 22nd of April, the way we have this thing connected to StreamYard, we will not StreamYard connected to the Facebook group will not be able to do that anymore. So we'll be converting this to a Facebook page that we can attach because I had it all set up for now to be attached to an event thing, but it will not do that because that's to the group. So we'll be starting a Facebook page for discussions from the Otherhood. So those of you who are looking out, listening, watching, who are part of the group, you have to come over to the page in order to see the show starting next week. So just want to get that out before I forget at the end of the show. That is all. That's all I had to
Okay.
say.
Thank you for the
That's it.
public service announcement.
Thank you very much. Did
For the
anybody
promo.
else, yeah, think any films that number one you thought that it lived up to the beginning, or something that did not live up to the beginning, had a great opening, and then just didn't live up to it? These
One that did was you have to figure out, do you consider this the first movie or the fourth movie, but Star Wars: A New Hope
the opening lives up to or doesn't live up to.
lives up to it. You know, you have this crawl that you have to read and figure out, well, what is
Uh,
all this stuff going on? Then that
yeah, yeah.
disappears, and this spaceship just goes through that runs forever.
Comes and comes and he's like, oh my God.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then you feel the rumble when it was in the because of the TX like
Hmm.
THX audio. You felt that
Hmm.
thing coming
Right,
through you.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was sitting in the movie theaters back then. That was a oh shit moment
oh, cool.
when the spaceship came overhead and it was rumbling.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely. Did you know they took that movie to the Japanese first because they figured the Japanese would make it, and the Japanese said no.
Huh? Why?
Well, I guess they just thought, nah, this ain't going nowhere, and they brought it back
Oh,
to America.
Wow,
ain't
That's
that
interesting.
isn't that isn't that a nothing burger? Because I think maybe a year later came message from space from Japan with Vic Morrow,
Hmm.
and they were it was a whole intergalactic war over like a walnut. Okay,
What?
yeah, check out message from space. It's it's
Okay.
it's bad by even my standards.
Okay.
It must be pretty bad.
All right. We got to see that then.
Thing I always wondered
That's
about
on the
movies,
list.
the
Mhm.
things I always wondered about movies is what happened to the person who thought this was a good idea. Like they were making ET, they tried to get M&Ms to sponsor the candies that he was going to leave as a trail, and so
Uh-huh.
they showed that. The thing is that they say that companies don't want their products to be seen in a bad light. Like you're not going to have somebody go to a McDonald's and they choke to death on a Big Mac. No, we're not going to put that
Just
in
like
there.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That
they thought that ET was too ugly, so they turned his
That
resume.
mother is he is
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah. That's
That
a
mother
that's another great moment from your fired history.
Yes.
you had
The history of
one
you're
job.
fired.
You
Yeah,
had
one
one
job.
job.
you're
One
fired. You
job.
got one thing,
Product
got one job to
placement.
do.
One
You fuck
job.
it up.
Along with whoever it
Anticipate.
was who said we can get P. Diddy for this Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, there you go. One job, right? So
Penelope,
look.
don't forget the opening to the Matrix.
Yes, yes. The Matrix opening is the first Matrix, of course.
I was
The
gonna,
first Matrix.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah.
first.
Fantastic.
And
We said Ghostbusters. I was gonna say Ghostbusters with the library scene because it reminds me now of Cranston.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah,
another
yeah, I
good
like that. Yeah.
note, did you know that Will Smith was originally offered the part of Neo and he turned it down?
Thank God.
Another
Thank
page from
God.
your fired
Yeah,
history.
yeah.
You had one job.
It's like no, I'm glad. I think that it went off the way that it should have. I think with Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, Keanu Reeves Neo, that worked very well.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, Larry Fishburne was
Hmm.
not going to be the original.
I know, I know.
It's going to be what's that guy's name? Was in the motorcycle accident?
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Hmm.
Mickey Rourke.
Hmm. It's gonna be the. But
Okay.
I think it came off very well the way that it
Yeah.
did with the
Yeah,
people they
that's
had.
that's another page from thank God history.
As now that's a good show.
I was gonna say that's
Another page,
yeah.
yeah. Well, thank God history. I like that. I like
Oh
that.
my goodness.
But
No,
Yeah.
for
no.
casting,
Yeah, yeah.
No, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey
I
Rourke.
Would have
like.
been awful.
Mickey
I
Rourke.
don't
Plus,
see
you
it.
got Mickey Rourke and Will Smith, huh?
No,
Oh, that would have
You
been
didn't ask
horrible.
Oh
for it.
God.
Man,
You didn't ask for it, but that's what you get.
that's right. You didn't ask for it, but that's what you got. So
and
there
you're
you
Yeah.
gonna like it.
yeah.
Well, it would have precluded the other two sequels because after that pairing said
That would have been okay. Never mind. Well, maybe I don't know. The
we'll
first
see
one
if
was
what they do with the fifth. So
Oh my goodness.
say,
Mickey
please
Rourke.
don't. I don't know why they would have a fifth.
they're making it. So
They
we'll
probably
see.
shouldn't.
Lord.
They
They
probably
can
shouldn't
make
do
they
that
can make whatever. I'm not watching.
unless they've got completely different new directors. Nope, not touching it.
Nah, I'm not
the question
watching.
is, would you take the pill from Gary Busey?
I ain't taking no pill for no Gary Busey. Are you kidding?
No. No.
Yes, which one did you take before you came here?
I get the
That
hell
that
out of
would
there.
Uh-uh.
That,
Nope.
would
I ain't taking
be
no
that
pill
would be
from
a
him.
Randy Quaid moment there.
No, I
Yeah.
ain't taking no
Yeah.
pill from him.
Nope.
Nah,
Nope.
man, that's
Nope.
okay.
No. I mean, who are you gonna convince that that's a good idea?
Nah,
Huh?
one pill look like NyQuil, the other pill look like some jelly bean. No, neither
Uh,
one.
no. 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 I don't care what it looked like from that
I
guy.
don't give a
No.
damn. I'm not eating that.
No. Nothing. Nothing. Next thing I know, he got me outside somewhere squatting in somebody's
Yeah, I'm
mansion. No
waking up all
thanks.
wet, and how did I get wet and naked? What
Yeah.
is
No
going on?
thanks. No thanks. I can go without that.
Nah, that's all right, man.
Yeah. We'll
I take
pass
no
this
pill.
time.
I
We
mean, the
pass.
thing is,
Pass.
when Neo is off of those pills, does
Mhm.
he have to take either pill? You don't have to take no pill, right?
They had to take one.
No,
Of
no, let's take one because
He
one
had
makes
to
you
take one
forget.
pill.
One makes you forget that you were ever there.
I don't want
Yeah,
to.
the red one makes you forget. The blue one, you're on your way to see the wizard.
Why
Go
can't I
down the
just
rabbit
walk out?
hole.
Why can't I just walk out? Say I ain't taking no pills.
Because then you're not in Allison going
Uh,
down the rabbit hole.
yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. Either you're coming down the rabbit hole, or
So
you're gonna
if I
wake up.
take
You're gonna
no
wake up
pill,
in your own bed, having not known that you did that at all.
why can't I
That
just
would
walk
be
out?
because that would be a 5 minute movie.
Yeah, exactly. What I do is I fall down a flight of stairs like Jane,
There you go.
hit my head,
Okay.
forgot all that, forget
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
Okay.
about that.
you get chased by crows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go. That's it.
that's
See,
it. I
that's a
take
good
no
film.
pill. How about I take no pill?
No pill, because you are a pill. Pill but
King,
take no pill.
King Kong flips you off a log.
Yep. There you go.
Ah!
Ooh. Ooh. Can't forget the ooh at the end. Yeah.
The Wilhelm scream at the end.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you. I just yeah. Mm-mm. There's certain people you don't take pills from. That's all I know.
I ain't taking
That's the
pill.
end of that. The
Listen,
end of that movie is there's certain people you take no pills from.
like nobody.
Thank you.
There's nobody you can name right now that I meet on the first time ever
That
that
they
I'm
would give
taking
me a
pills
pill.
from. No,
You
I'm not
you
taking
you
pills for
you better
nobody.
not take it from me because I'm gonna be laughing at you all day.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. No
I'm doing all
thanks.
kind of crazy crap
No
because
thanks.
I'm freaking out. This dude is laughing at me.
Right.
No,
Right.
no, no, no.
I
I'm not
can't
taking
believe
no
he took
pill.
the pill.
Why would you take a pill? I don't give a
From
damn
me.
if
You don't even know me,
listen,
man.
listen, Penelope. I don't care if it's Mickey Rourke, Mickey Rooney.
Okay.
I
No
don't give a
pill.
damn who it is.
Nobody. Nobody's
I ain't
handling the
taking no
pill. All
pill
right.
for no dude, no bald headed dude with some shades. Like, no, I ain't doing it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mick
Okay. All right.
Jagger,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
No.
give a
Mickey
damn who it
Mickey
is.
Mouse.
Mickey
Can't
Mouse.
handle me.
Yeah, why
Yep.
would you
No.
take a? He didn't have to take a pill, y'all.
That's what they said, though.
No, he
Those are
didn't.
the rules.
Whose rules?
Them's the
I'm
rules.
walking out. I'd be like, "What's the name?"
Them's the rules, mister.
Uh-uh.
Them's the rules. All right. Well, guys, we're coming down to the end of our program. Did anybody have anything they wanted to add before we wrap it up? Any show, any film, negative or positive, that you think falls into these categories? I think we did a very good job, except for our teetering down the library lane. We did a pretty good job of staying on topic. Very proud of you all. Okay. All right. Done?
Is it
Yeah?
somebody's birthday coming up? Is it Otto's birthday coming up?
Damn, I thought
Don't
everybody
remind
forget.
me.
Yes, it is his birthday on the 22nd, which is the technical Earth Day was the 22nd. That is Otto's birthday. He will be a year older and not much wiser as far as I've seen.
Thank you.
So that's a big surprise. Going to
Oh,
That's what my mother said when she gave birth to me.
Wilhelm scream
Ooh.
too.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well,
All right. But happy birthday, upcoming birthday, Otto. And it has been a pleasure knowing you for all these many years.
Am I on my
And
way out? What's going on?
oh no.
Taking the Wilhelm scream dive there.
Damn.
Because you didn't take the
Ah,
pill,
just
man.
see.
Because you didn't
No,
take the
no.
pill.
But this
It's
thing,
like nice
happy
knowing
birthday.
you.
It has been a thrill to know you. Happy birthday. Happy
Well, I won't be
birthday.
back next week, y'all. So I wish you all a happy life.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah. It's happy birthday. Happy birthday. How's that? Y'all
happy
just happy
birthday,
birthday.
happy Earth Day, and happy 420.
Oh,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Stay away from the weed. Stay away from the weed, y'all.
okay, that flew right over my head. What's that?
That's not taking the pill.
Oh,
See, that's why he didn't get it.
Yeah, okay, that's it. All right, there we go.
He
Y'all,
didn't
y'all
take the edible.
Yeah, don't take edibles, y'all.
Oh, do not.
Stay away from weed.
Yeah, stay away. It's not your friend.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Got any more?
All right. On that note, thank you all very much for joining us this evening. Again, watch for the change from next week. We will have to go to a discussions from the Otherhood page. If you are here on the group, make sure to join us on the page so that you'll be able to get the notifications to make it here to the show. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. Happy birthday, Otto. Happy Earth Day. Take care of yourselves. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Bye
Good night.
bye.